when I started in the alcohol field 10 or 11 years ago, I think the idea of alcohol-related brain damage was a mystery to me. It was a closed book. I'd read about this condition called Wernicke-Korsakoff's syndrome, which sounded quite complicated and difficult to pronounce. The fact that we do still talk about Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome gives us an idea of how long this condition's been around. In that Wernicke and Korsakoff were two psychologists, a Pole and a Russian, who discovered this at some point in the 1800s. So we've known for a long, long time that alcohol does very strange things to the human brain and produces changes that don't go away in the way that drunkenness goes away. But still, I think many of us know so little about it. And I think the eye-opener that I had was probably 5 years ago when someone came into my office and said, I want to do something on wet brain. And this was a new topic to me as well, a new phrase. So we had Wernicke-Korsakoff's, we had wet brain, and I started to realise that this was all the same thing. This is what we now define as alcohol-related brain damage, which is a cluster of conditions in which there are physical changes to the brain as a result of long-term heavy drinking and the associated malnutrition. Some people, in fact, talk about it as being a malnutrition condition, in that what's happening is that the alcohol is not only poisoning the brain, but it's stopping the body from absorbing thiamine, from absorbing vitamin B1. And one of the first things that we do when we know that someone has alcoholic damage to the brain is that we seek, or we get a doctor to do it. Obviously, we don't do it ourselves, but we dose them up with large doses of vitamin B1 and also try and get the diet back on track alongside getting them to abstain from alcohol. So those really are the two main aspects of ARBD. It's both the alcoholic poisoning and the thiamine deficiency that results. And what I've found in the years that I've been working on alcohol-related brain damage is it's one of those conditions that gets people really passionate. I've never met anyone working in the field who doesn't feel desperately strongly about this. And I think one of the reasons for that is that people with the condition are so tremendously stigmatized. It is a condition that people think that others have brought on themselves by heavy drinking. It also produces some quite aggressive and pleasant and inappropriate behaviour. Someone with alcohol-related brain damage is not necessarily the easiest person to work with. And alongside that, there is this fact in the background that we know that, unlike most other forms of dementia or dementia-like conditions, alcohol-related brain damage can be to a large extent reversed. Not always totally, not always perfectly in everyone, but with high-dose vitamin B treatment and with abstention from alcohol and lots of support, people can recover themselves. And I think this is one of the things about alcohol-related brain damage that makes it such a tragic condition, is that it is like many people have lost themselves. They wake up in the morning and almost don't know who they are, but that personality, that sense of themselves can be recovered with the right support. It's a difficult condition to get to grips with. Anyone who's coming at it for the first time, I'd certainly advise them to get onto the Alcohol Change UK website, have a look at the ARBD pages, perhaps have a read of our report, All in the Mind, which was written in 2014, but still provides a very good summary of the condition. And really, that's a good place to get started on this learning journey.